again, this is not literal, but imagining I'm sitting in the Dreamscapes cafe. It's a magical cafe. They're brewing some great elixirs. If you brought pencil and paper, or if not, is to do a little guided meditation to re-enter one of your own dreamscapes. And really all that you need to do before we start this is to think of either a very powerful positive memory from the past, or a positive dream where we could you could also do negative ones at some point, but let's start with positive ones that are easy to remember, a time or a place where you felt sort of either supported or inspired or centered. And we're going to start by talking about setting, like locations that are a little more imaginal. So I thought I'd start with something fun, which is I took some inspiration from one of my psychedelic journeys and put it into this tool called Skybox by Blockade Labs. It's a basically text to image, and they make this immersive image. So my opinion is that it got kind of halfway there to what the actual experience was. And I thought I would read for you what the text was that I entered. So I said, lines crisscrossing, hieroglyphic symbols on stone, dense geographic patterns, closed-eye visuals of hieroglyphics on giant geodes with fractal and Fibonacci patterns, designs changing shapes. So this was what it generated as a fantasy landscape. And then there's landscape. So as I said, my actual experience when I was tripping with my eyes closed was way more immersive. But what I want to play with at the beginning here is what I call a dreamscape, which is kind of re-entering images we've had either through psychedelic trips, meditations, or dreams, and using them as part of our journey. So like I said, the technology is getting there. And this is, I thought this one was like closer, technologically speaking, than the other ones. Anyway, so this is me arriving in the foreign city, and whatever prompts I put in there. So loosely speaking, this could be like where the situation begins in phase one. And if anybody wants to play with this on your own, I think it's skybox.blockade labs, and it's free and it's non-proprietary, like you get to keep whatever you create. So you're going to look for dreamscapes in your big memorable dreams or recurring dreams. You're going to look for them in visuals that occur during a psychedelic trip. You're going to look for them in recurring themes or images in waking life. Maybe it's an animal that keeps showing up in your life. Synchronicities, precognition, flash of an image that might not have a lot of context and seems to come out of nowhere, but it just flashes in your mind. So we're kind of trying to track those and use them here. You could also ask your current situation where it wants to be located. So if my current, oh, sorry, could we jump back for a second? If my current situation is I'm working through relationship issues, for example, then I might say, where does this want to happen on an imaginal level? In a cafe, underwater, grandparents' house, hometown, foreign country, and yeah, trying to get a little sort of specific, but also sort of vague. So the second term here that I'm using is alchemical. And as you refine your dreamscape, you're already engaged in the process of internal alchemy. That means right now. Maybe you just want to pay attention in your daily life to images that jump out at you, and use those as your dreamscape. So like, here's an example of a flyer, it's a Dali, I don't know if you can see this, it's a Dali picture. It's pretty popular, and at some point I grabbed it and it stuck with me. And or if you're an artist, maybe you come up with your own drawings, but yeah, there's a certain paying attention to what images are coming to you through dreams, or just images in the world. And I can give an example here. So I might begin my situation of sitting in a cafe. Again, this is not literal, but imagining I'm sitting in the Dreamscapes cafe. It's a magical cafe. They're brewing some great elixirs. And whatever I'm working on, that's where I'm doing it. And then phase 2 might be another room in the back of the cafe where I go and talk to someone that I know about some more details of my situation. Then maybe I go through another door and there's a tunnel, or like a passageway, like a hallway. And it leads to this spherical room in the, I don't know where we are in the cafe, but it's a place that is very unfamiliar. So this is my image of phase 4, and spend some time there gathering insights. And then I open a door and walk back out onto the street, except when I walk out, I'm not in the same place where I started. Like the street looks different. It might even be a different, town or something like this. So, okay, that's an example, but I guess I could also mention the bridge, again, isn't literal. It's just sort of a liminal space. So it can be whatever works for your setting. A tunnel or a portal, and anything between the known and the unknown. This is a good time to allow yourself to kind of go back to your original image from the beginning of the workshop. Take that as your image for phase 1, and imagine if you went through this process, how would, like, what would the setting, the imaginal setting be of each next phase. So again, right now we're only looking at the dreamscapes, not the actual situation you're working on. Just how might you extrapolate on your initial visualization? If you'd like to, you're welcome to close your eyes, and I'll guide you to envision it a bit. So see if you can look around and see where you are, what your location is, and what's around you. And you might notice any smells or sounds or what the air feels like. Notice if there's anyone else with you or if you're alone. And really in your immediate surroundings, see if there's anything anything that stands out to you. It could be something in nature, it might be in a room, but and check in with how you're feeling about being in this place. Yeah, it could be a positive past experience or a daydream or a dream. And you can stay there as long as you like. You can also take a moment to just jot down on paper the most vivid things you notice about this place.